Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Ecoffee with Experts. I'm your host, Matt Fraser. On today's show, I have with me Filip Silobod. Filip is the founder of Honest Marketing, a digital marketing agency headquartered in Galway, Ireland. He has a bachelor's degree in business and economics from the University of Zagreb and has over 8 years of experience helping businesses and entrepreneurs in the tourism and travel industry get more traffic, leads, and sales. When not working on marketing campaigns for clients, Filip enjoys spending time traveling, playing basketball, and spending time with his family and friends. Filip, thank you so much. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Right on. So, Filip, how would your university professors describe you as a student?
I would say I was a good student when I was in the class, but it did take me quite a while to finish the college because I wasn't the greatest student because I kind of wasn't interested in the economics, especially. So I was more interested in tourism.
Oh.
So when I got into tourism, then I really had great grades. I was very proactive. So overall, I kind of found what I liked.
That's cool.
Sphere.
All right, on. So how did you transition from working in the tourism industry into where you are now?
Well, it kind of happened by chance. So, I always loved tourism. I studied in Croatia, which is a very touristic country.
Oh, yeah.
And after my studies, when I finished, I was kind of looking for a job, of course. And then, you go to the job market and then you realize you have to have at least 2 years of experience for any kind of job.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I wish I knew that before.
Yeah. How can you get experience if you don't have a job? How can you get a job if you don't have experience? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the graduate problem anywhere. So I decided to go to Ireland. The country was in the EU. It was English speaking. And I spoke English pretty well. So I thought I'm going to find something there. And I came to Dublin. I was looking for any kind of a job. Really, I got some, manual jobs here and then, but nothing really that was making me happy or what I studied for. So I applied for internships. And also, internships are also hard to get, especially if you're a foreigner, I think, because they don't know your college, they don't know your background.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting an internship. Finally, it wasn't in the city. It was pretty far out. I think that was why. And I got the internship in an agency that does digital marketing, websites, and booking engines for hotels. And our hotels, I worked in a hotel a little bit, but I was always interested in tourism and hotels. And this was perfect for me, and I love marketing. So I started as an SEO intern. Something, SEO, not many college students know about, and I had no idea. But, you got the SEO internship, so I had to learn, first of all, what it was, and then adjust to the whole process of SEO, the whole language.
Yeah.
The intern.
All right, on. Do you think your experience you gained at Aerodigital has helped you in your development as an entrepreneur and overall digital marketer?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was my first agency experience. Yeah. And I was there for 3-4 years. So I started as an intern, and then I got the job after 9 months as a full-time employee, mostly SEO. And it was a big learning experience, especially as an intern. Like every day, there's something new.
Yeah.
And you get used to learning every day. So it's kind of like if you stop learning, that's what happened to me after 3 years approximately. A lot of people left, and the seniors, the guys who taught me SEO and all that analytics, they were gone. So I was kind of the senior now. So I was kind of, I lacked some of that mentorship, I'd say, and learning new things that I got used to. And I learned analytics along with SEO pretty well, and then I started to learn other things, a little bit of PPC. So once I got after 3-4 years, I kind of was in a standstill, so I was looking for kind of like new challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of knew how the agency worked. And I got the idea that I could maybe, do this on my own, at least have some clients,
Yeah.
I didn't want anything big. I just thought, some things could have done maybe better if I was in charge, or I would talk to the clients. I would kind of be more honest with them, have more friendly conversations with them.
Yeah.
If I was working with them. So that's where the idea slowly came in. Because, in digital marketing, you don't need a lot of investment to work in. You need your knowledge mostly. You need a few tools, but you can work anywhere basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you love most about digital marketing?
I like that it's never the same. So it is challenging. I can't say I love the fact that it's challenging. Difficult sometimes, but it's never the same. So it's never boring, and there's always this possibility of growth.
Yeah.
And that's the thing I like about it.
What's been your favorite digital marketing project so far?
I think it's the one actually from a year ago. It was SEO. I was approached by a company. It was a startup that was offering something new. But if you Google, they were offering like consulting in different finance sectors. So it was like to hire a consultant in like 100 different financial niches.
Yeah.
And it was a new site. And then I was thinking, what kind of keywords should we target here? And it was mostly niche keywords. It was like hire, and then you had some kind of a niche industry consultant keyword. And then when I looked up what's ranking there, it was all the big companies. It was Upwork, TopTal, Fiverr, and
sites with high DA.
Yeah, and well-known sites.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I don't think I think we have to go this way. I don't think there's another set of keywords or something, everything else is too broad. And so I thought, we have to make a good SEO strategy. It could fail, and I always thought, like, let's analyze the pages these guys have in TopTal, Upwork for each of these financial keywords we want, and how can we make them better? And the main part was they have so many pages that we can focus more on our pages and have more content textual than them. Yeah. So this could give us an advantage. And if you just focus on financial sector, that could indicate to Google maybe rank a bit higher than these sites that don't focus on a specific niche.
Yeah.
And that was successful in the end. Quite soon, awesome. Actually. And start to rank for all these niche keywords. And the conversion rate was super high, actually.
That's cool. Hey, what advice would you give to someone just starting out in digital marketing?
Digital marketing isn't so small. You have different sections in it. You have SEO, you have Google Ads, you have social media, you have websites. I would give advice to try all of them. Try them out and then figure out which one you like the most.
Yeah.
And pick like two of these kind of skills and focus on them.
What do you think's been the biggest challenge in digital marketing over the last few years?
Probably the rising cost per click cost, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's probably global. So many people going with ads is going to increase the cost per click. That's probably a big challenge. And then you have, for SEO as well, you have more and more people producing content a lot.
Yeah.
So
producing backlinks.
Yeah. The industry is getting, we see every year, more people invest more in digital marketing.
Yeah.
And you only have, what I say, you only have the top 10 positions in the search results. It's
Absolutely.
going to get more tougher and tougher.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of people think digital marketing is easy. Can you debunk that myth for us?
Well, okay. First of all, it cannot be easy if a lot of companies invest in it, and that means automatically have a lot of competitors. It's like when some people think of SEO, it's going to be easy or take 1 month.
Yeah.
It's not going to work that way because you're not the only one doing this. If you were the only one doing this, it would be much easier.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, what are some of the most common reasons SEO projects fail?
Okay. I like SEO projects do fail sometimes. And I think experience is here what can determine if the project will fail or not. Just to be realistic and have some kind of idea or previous experience how far can the site rank or this business, because if you go too ambitiously with a small business, or if you want to rank nationally or just make a blog post about global broad keywords, it's probably gonna fail. So that's one, it's not having enough experience or not being enough realistic to get some kind of idea where the site could rank in 6 months. And then you get very little traffic or no traffic. And the second one is if the traffic is not converting. You have a lot of SEOs that can grow traffic a lot, but a lot of that is probably through blog posts that if you go into analytics, a lot of them will have like 90% bounce rate or even higher, and not much value. So I think these are the two reasons why SEO projects fail.
Yeah. Are there any specific steps that should be taken during the initial stages of an SEO project to prevent it from failing?
Look at the historic data. Now, does the website currently rank or not? What does it rank for? What's kind of like domain authority? And what kind of websites do rank? If you have a competitor that ranks, why do they rank?
Yeah.
So those were, things like that would be the preparation steps for any kind of a SEO project.
So doing research then.
Research, everything starts with research, competitor research, and then trying to make a strategy that's going to work, that you can achieve within your budget. Of course, budget is also important.
Absolutely. So, what was your inspiration for starting your agency, Honest Marketing?
Yeah, man. The name comes from the inspiration, and that's honesty. And when I was working with hotels, I was working on SEO or digital marketing for hotels in 2016, 17, and I noticed the trend that was going against us, all the clients, and that was Booking.com, TripAdvisor, and those guys, and their organic rankings just started to go up and up.
Mm-hmm.
And then Google introduced, that FAQ snippet showing Google search results, and each of them had at least 2 or 3 of these snippets, and they're all ranking in the first page, and they just blew up. When you look at the top 10 positions, they took over, especially with the snippets. They took up so much space.
Mm-hmm.
So that hotels in those years had very difficult time to rank in top 10 and get traffic. And I was the SEO guy, and I noticed this. And then you also had another negative trend that was taking away organic traffic, and that is brand PPC. Because a lot, hotels have very big search volume for their brand, for the hotel name. And then when you run brand PPC, then it takes away a lot of organic traffic. And it goes up and down very much depending on the brand search volume. So those 2 trends were making a lot of hotels organic traffic being minus compared to last year. So this was always a negative trend. And when I figured out why, I wanted to, I told that to the manager. I said, and it was demotivating because it's kind of like there's nothing much you can do to compete with those guys, hotels.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, like, there's also these trends, they're not helping us. And so the response was like, we can't tell that to the client, so simple like that, because we kind of obliged to increase their organic traffic. And we said at the beginning, we're going to grow your organic traffic. And that was like the situation that was bad for me, for motivation. And I said, if I was the manager, if I was the agency owner, I wouldn't sell like that. I wouldn't do these kind of hard sells. I would say, these are the trends. We're going to do our best, and that's it. I wouldn't promise, big growth or anything. So that's when I said, if I wish I could be honest with the client. And when my time came to the end at the agency, I was kind of looking forward to the end, actually, and moved to other industries. And I was thinking about the name for my business. I thought to use my own name, but my surname is kind of hard to say in English. So I thought, what are some of the things that I would kind of stand for? And I said, honesty, and I wanted to have at least 2 words in the business name. One of the reasons was SEO. If I had marketing in it, I could maybe rank a bit better for marketing searches. So it came in, honest marketing, and I was surprised that there wasn't domains and businesses with that name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool name, actually.
Hey, do you think that agencies should specialize in one industry or target multiple industries when doing marketing, offering marketing services?
I think it's good for them if they specialize. Because I see that trend. I think especially in the US, you have a lot of agencies that specialize in industries, and it makes them easier to sell because they have case studies. Oh, we work with these guys in your industry. We know how it works. So definitely, I think is the future to specialize. It's gonna go pretty niche. You have agencies for roofers, and then probably you're going to have agency for any kind of business out there, like pet stores, you name it, probably in the future.
Do you think there's any challenges though that come with specializing in a specific industry? Like for instance, I know of one agency that specializes in car dealers, and they would do marketing for multiple dealers in one city. And to me, that brings up an ethical issue of a conflict of interests. Like, how can you do marketing for one Toyota dealership on one side of the city, and then the same marketing for another Toyota dealership, not in the same ownership group, completely different business, a competitor, for another dealer on the other side of the city? Makes no sense to me. And they say they built a Chinese wall, but I think that's bullcrap. And I don't know how you overcome those situations when you specialize in an industry like that.
Yeah.
You ever experienced that before?
Yes, a little bit when I worked in agency for hotels, and it was, let's see, it was like, they didn't like that, the clients.
Of course not.
Worked with other hotels. So they're kind of trying to dodge that to focus on other cities if possible.
Yeah. Do you think that like you should develop a policy that you only work in a 100-mile or 100-kilometer range or something like that? For instance, I know I know that tree movers in Texas, they have a 15-mile radius that they work in. And outside of that, it's too costly for them to go outside of that range. Now, 15 miles might not be the exact, but I know it's a small radius. And so you could find out what the radius is of that business in regards to how far they're willing to go to get a customer, and say, okay, well, we won't work with, another similar business within this radius, or maybe within double the radius, just so that we have your best interests in mind. Oh, what do you think?
I think it's kind of like both sides. I think for agencies, they have the knowledge, working with kind of two businesses that could be competitors. You have more knowledge about each, and you're probably going to do a good job. But maybe ethical is not great.
Yeah. So, what's your take on the future of digital marketing?
I don't really know. I think digital marketing, one thing is for sure, in terms of media, video is probably the best form right now, and it's probably gonna stay like that. And I don't know, in the future, like we could be seeing, depending on how far, about like virtual reality and
that'd be amazing.
How to do digital marketing, for VR sites.
VR and the metaverse is gonna be interesting.
What to do there is gonna be probably challenging. And I know one thing, with Google, in the way they're going with Google Ads, is more of they want to push these broad match keywords a lot. So you have less and less control over Google Ads.
Yeah.
That's one thing, for sure.
Yeah. I wonder if marketers will push back on that.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. But I guess Google makes the rules, but they do have some EU rules. There's always some kind of court finding Google or something.
Yeah. I wonder if anybody will ever disrupt Google. Come along and disrupt them.
I don't think so. Well, it would be better to have more competition on the market.
That's true. Yeah, I agree. Hey, what's one big takeaway you want listeners to get from this episode?
Just to focus on what you like doing. Focus on what you love. And have a certain philosophy that makes you probably different. I would say
absolutely.
And love your job.
Right on. And how can our listeners connect with you online?
It's mostly on LinkedIn. So if people can just Google me or go to my website, which is honestmarketing.ie.
Right on. Fantastic. We'll make sure to put that information in the show notes. I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's great. Been great to have you here.
Yeah. This was great, Matt. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.